Welcome to Slovenia Business Bridge, organized by AmCham Slovenia and Spirit Slovenia. We are about to begin the AmCham Business Breakfast, Legacy and Innovation, Unveiling the Importance of Family Businesses in Slovenia. Special thanks to our premium trusted partners, Google, MasterCard, and Nova KBM, and partner of the AmCham Business Breakfast, SmartCom. Your host will be Mrs. Aisha Vodnik, CEO of AmCham Slovenia, Vice Chair of AmChams in Europe.
Dobro jutro. Good morning, and for some, welcome back, and for the others, welcome. Yesterday we started with discussion about big business and why it matters for the ecosystem. And there are a few learnings why it is important to have big businesses, multinational companies in the country. So we heard about innovation, corporate governance, talent management, and we also heard that we, in this region, need to act and have more courage. And then I was thinking, okay, for this business breakfast, on this panel, we'll have people that maybe have too much courage, but we will discuss this later. Before we'll start, we would like to hear what the Minister of Economy, Tourism and Sport of the Republic of Slovenia, Mr. Matjaž Han, would like to tell to us.
Spoštovane dame, spoštovani gospodje, moram reči, da mi je žal, da ne morem biti danes z vami. Vseeno pa sem vas želel pozdraviti in v prvi vrsti izraziti svoje globoko spoštovanje do organizatorjev dogodka, AmCham Slovenije in javne agencije Spirit Slovenija. Danes se pomen vašega nenehnega prizadevanja za krepitev gospodarske vezi med slovenskimi podjetji ter mednarodnimi partnerji kaže v povsem drugačni luči. Kot država smo, gospe in gospodje, doživeli naravno nesrečo, ki nas je spomnila na moč zgrajenih mostov, na pomen solidarnosti, na dejstvo, da pravi prijatelji, dragi moji, niso nikoli daleč. Na srečo, kljub težavam, s katerim se naša podjetja soočajo, večji del slovenskega gospodarstva že deluje normalno in nemoteno. Država slovenskemu gospodarstvu stoji ob strani. Z celovitim paketom ukrepov želimo seveda pomagati prizadetim podjetjem, tako da čim prej sanirajo nastalo škodo, ohranijo zaposlene ter ponovno zaženejo poslovanje in s tem ohranijo dosedanje naročnike. In to je najpomembnejše. Dejstvo je, da je voda spremenila tok številnih življenj in poslovnih strategij. V nekaterih primerih je to celo neločljivo povezano, kjer so najbolj na udaru družinska podjetja. V Sloveniji družinska podjetja predstavljajo več kot 80% vseh podjetij. S povprečnim letnim prihodkom okrog 4 milijone evrov in več kot 20-letno zgodovino delovanja so temelj naše gospodarske rasti in stabilnosti. Poleg tega pa so pomemben nosilec tradicije in inovacij. Zaradi njihovega pomena za slovensko gospodarstvo moramo zanje splesti dodatno podporno mrežo med javnim sektorjem ter med strokovnjaki. Le tako se bomo lahko uspešno soočili z izzivi in ustvarili pogoje za uspeh teh podjetij. Tisti, ki ste del družinskega podjetja, dobro veste, kakšen izziv je prenos podjetja na naslednjo generacijo. Po oceni Evropske komisije se v Evropi vsako leto prenese cirka 450 tisoč podjetij za 2 milijona zaposlenih. Po ocenah komisije vsako leto, žal, propade kar tretjina podjetij. Letna izguba delovnih mest pa zaradi tega se giblje okoli 600 tisoč. V okviru ukrepov na ministrstvu, ki jih izvajamo, smo vzpostavili nacionalno stopno točko za pomoč podjetjem pri tako imenovanem prenosu lastništva. Verjamem, da lahko s pravim načrtovanjem, s trajnostjo in pa prilagajanjem slovenskega družinskega podjetja dosežejo izjemen preboj tudi na tujih trgih. Prepričan sem, da bomo skupaj z vami, AmCham in Spirit Slovenija, tudi v bodoče odprli številna vrata novim priložnostim za naša družinska podjetja tudi izven naše domovine. Hvala za vašo predanost in hvala vam za vaše trdo delo. Upam, da se bom naslednjič lahko pridružil tem dogodku in se seveda osebno srečal z vami. Želim vam uspešno druženje, predvsem pa obetaven razvoj naših in vaših podjetij. Hvala lepa.
So good for these messages, and definitely we'll discuss some of that. But I think that people that will be in the panel have so many answers. So with no further ado, I would like to invite them to the stage. First, I would like to ask Mr. Boscarol, Ivo Boscarol, the President Emeritus and founder of Pipistrel, for the first warm-up question. So, so Mr. Boscarol, not many people probably in the room know that you were afraid of the airplanes, yet you founded a world-renowned airplane producer. Is that true?
Well, yes, it is true. The aircraft are dangerous. That's 100% sure. Imagine that if there is a car accident, nobody is asking if the driver was drunk. But if there is an aircraft accident, nobody asks anything else if the engine was working or not. So they are dangerous. So yes, I was afraid, and this is also one of the reasons that I entered in this business, to make the aviation safer.
Great, thank you so much. Wherever you want. The next one that I will call is Mr. Stjepan Orešković, a regional, very well-known entrepreneur. But Stipe, you are not only an entrepreneur, but also a scientist. So I really would like to hear, you're the principal investor in M Grupa, but is your mind and heart, because both are important, more in science or more in business?
I think that actually there is no prospective business without science, and it's becoming definitely clear from day to day. And of course, if you look international environment, there are no serious science that is not connected with the business.
Great answer for the warm-up. Thank you so much. And now the lady on the stage, who is Nuša Pavlinjek, the president of the board of Roto. Roto is a family-owned company that became a multinational, 6 factories. And Nuša, the question I would like to pose to you is, when was the turning moment that you said, yeah, I want to stay and be the president of the board?
Dobro jutro. Yes, it was very early. Actually, our company was playground with my brother in kindergarten, and we decided very early.
So there was no choice, actually. We'll learn more about that. So Nuša, please join us, and thank you so much. Jure Podkrižnik is the CEO of Podkrižnik company. And Jure, we know that for you was also really early, because I think you were with your father on the meetings already when you were like 10 or something?
Yeah, just like Nuša said, we were born in this kind of environment, so it was not a choice, but I have the pleasure that I really enjoy it from the young years. And yeah, it was very young when I started business with my father.
We'll learn about that too, because succession is something that we also heard is something to need to be talked about. Thank you so much, Jure. And last but not least with us is also Klemen Šešok, who is having many businesses, but right now probably most looking to come to my stage. So, Klemen, welcome. Iskra is really well known. You employ many people, but I know that you and your brother at some point had to convince your father that you want to continue. Was it like this? Was a family meeting? How was this?
Živijo. No, actually, it was not like this. I remember I had my 3rd child, and I was walking with him around Ljubljana, PST, and I called my brother. Back then, my father had a partner, Jože, and they wanted to sell the company. And actually, they were collecting some offers, and these offers were in the amount of not so much as the company is valued today. And then I called my brother Matija, and I said, look, Matija, we are not going to allow another big Slovenian company to be sold. Let's go in, and let's do something big. And this was 2015. We came in, we made a buy-in, we paid Jože and the rest of the team, and since then we were kicking.
And still alive. Yeah. So please, Clement, just so all of these people, we have many investors and foreigners in the room. Of course, everybody knows you in Slovenia, and of course broader. But still, I would like to do some quick elevator pitch. How do you pitch your companies when you go to different, or you don't have to pitch anymore, or people already know enough? So Clement, when you go abroad and want to get a new business, because you were really successful in really hiring the added value in your company, what is the first pitch that you tell about your company?
We have to pitch all the time, because we are a drop in the sea, Iskra or the whole group of companies. Basically, we are family-owned business. This is very important when you deal in Europe. That's one thing very important. Secondly, ECG, and I'm very fond of it, and I really mean it. And we've done a lot. And basically, to everybody I talk to, I put some attention to this. Then, of course, you know, Slovenia, people are hardworking, people are good, people are innovative. That's what we pitch for. And basically, last but not least, I always try to tell one thing which is, at least to me, very important. We distinguish between, you know, I will do my best to I will deliver. So to me, this is very important. When I talk to somebody in Germany, Austria, France, UK, guys, we are going to deliver.
So being precise on the result.
Yes.
Jure, what is the first thing you tell? You have a business, a factory here and in Germany. So how do you pitch your company? And because you're literally came out of your grandfather's garage, and then your father took it over, and now with the third generation, it is really blooming. What is the first thing you say?
We are not the third generation. My father started, not the grandfather, but it was the garage start, for 35 years ago. And it's same like colleague said, we have to pitch, because in Europe or worldwide we are small company, so to say, for Slovenian standards bigger, but for worldwide smaller. We always try to show how passionate we are with the business, because business is trust. And if people trust us that we are passionate and that we want to deliver and we will deliver, then they are really trusting us. And I always say, if people come to our company, we already got the business. Because they see this empathy, they see these emotions, they see this, let's say, drive that we have, and also the organization itself, how much do we invest into the company. And I think this is the winning combination.
Great, thank you. Nusha, you're producing, I read, more than 4,000 polymers. But how did it start, and how do you pitch your company?
Yes, we also start with word family business. Yes, multinational family business, because we have already 8 factories and export to 65 countries. Yes, but it's important. We have over 4,000 different products, and our advantage is really super fast development of new products. We develop 2 to 3 new products a week, and that is really important argument to start a business with somebody.
We'll definitely come back to how do you get the best talents and the best engineers, because this is probably something that you all worry about. But first, maybe Mr. Buscarol, Pipistrel is definitely, not many people, I guess, in the room know where the word really comes from. So maybe you can explain about that, and then we'll talk about the trademark and how do you pitch, or how did you pitch to Textron. So Pipistrel first, what does it mean? And then what was that you told to your investors and partners?
Well, yes, the name started 35 years ago when we were flying illegally the trikes, the gliders, these Rogal wings, illegally in the dark, and on the evening sky we were very close to the shape of bird, bat, so bat bird, and people start to call us flying bats. And when I started to produce this type of flying machines, the closest country was Italy, and I said they must know what we are producing, so we will give the name something like connected to the bird, and in Italian language the bat bird is pipistrello, and in Latinium is pipistrellus. I cut it a little bit, the word, to make it a little bit different, and actually this was one of my greatest idea, because if you go today to Wikipedia or on Google and you type pipistrellus, you will see the bird, but on the bottom is written, if you are looking for pipistrel aircraft producer, click here, because we have more hits than pipistrellus. But yes, it started at that time. Answer to the second question is maybe a little bit different than the previous speakers. In aviation world, of course, I'm known. I was also nominated from American Academy, like Living Legend. And yes, I made some new standards in aviation. And if I'm going out of Slovenia, I'm normally invited, or invited speaker, or invited to visit them. You know, in aviation, there were only 3 milestones until now. In 1927, in US was type certified for public transport piston engine aircraft. Then in 1953, in UK, aircraft with jet engine, for what is still based to fly over oceans and everything, and long distances. And then until 2020, when Pipistrel type certified the first emission-free, fully electric aircraft, were no milestone, you know. And making the third milestone, I'm known in aviation, that's for sure. And thank you. I'm very happy that all this continue now with the new partner, Textron, because in aviation, you know, everything is expensive. The most expensive are certification. Imagine that certification per seat of, let's say, a little bigger aircraft cost more than 15 millions. So Pipistrel, with the revenue I was able to make in last years, so I would never be able to, let's say, realize all what my company was done in the past. And now with the new partner, all this is becoming a reality. I'm really happy to also today to talk about this.
And it's so good to see your eyes spark when you talk about how creative and innovative your company will be. Stipe, your pitch for the M Grupa, when we see how you started and what achievements you have, it's really incredible. So many people that you employ. So how do you pitch for your company?
I always think what is important for the person I'm talking with. It's not that I am selling myself and company as a capacity. There is a person on the other side that might or might not be interested for us. So different strategies. If you talk to investor, then you always have to bring return on investment from the other investors. We already have more than 23 investment funds and several thousand small investors because we are publicly listed company. So I say, look, this is what is the return of the people that already invested. If we talk to someone that wants to work for us, what is probably most important, then I claim the churn, the retention, how many people left the company in last year compared to others. Mm. If we talk about with science institutes, then we pitch number of PhDs or research we are doing in the company and the products we have. So it's always a simple principle that what is important is the others, not the us.
Really nice. We'll stay with you, Stipe, if you don't mind. We discussed about succession, and here on the stage we have 2 founders and then 3 who came and want to grow and did grow the companies. And sometimes it is hard to decide what's the right moment. We heard a bit what Mr. Buscarol said, but when you did your succession to Luca and your other 2 kids, when did you felt like this is the moment that I need to step back and leave them to fly?
I mean, nothing happens in the way that you plan the things and then you decide, I'm going to do that. You always react. And basically, not to make too long stories, but Luca was 28. He graduated from Harvard, and he thought that he is the most clever guy in the world. Of course, that's what they do to them there. And then I left him on the market for 2 years. Then we mutually agreed that maybe it's
he's not the most clever. The second one,
yeah,
maybe.
learning curve. And so then he was 29. So I introduced the new governing board. The average age was 32, and he was the youngest, but not by far. And then I left for 1 year to US, because I knew that if I'm here, there will be problems. So after 1 year, he learned his lesson, I learned mine, and now we work in a very well manner, and then now the younger kids are also coming in.
Great. Mr. Buscarol, you also work with your daughter, but you told, in Slovenia and broader, it's publicly known that Textron entered your company last year. Tell me about that, because when you as a founders started something, many people say it's like my kid. I don't believe in that, because you would never sell the kid, I guess. So what was the turning point? You told us a bit about why you decided for that, but why Textron, and how did it lead to that?
Well, it is true that you never sell the kid, but you normally marry him, huh? Or her. So what I did was the best marriage possible. You know, in aviation, as I said, everything is very expensive. The development and certification is even much more expensive than in pharmacy or in space industry. And as we had so big knowledge and we were so ahead in emission-free aviation in Pipistrel, that the only way was to be, let's say, reasonable and to say, what is your future? Or you will keep, let's say, the past strategy and do everything by yourself with natural growth, or you will find a way how to boost and to remain ahead of the others, you know. Nowadays, everybody can be the second. The first is only one. And the decision was the hardest in my life, but it was also the happiest in my life, because I assured the long-term social security to all my workers. I assured that all my programs are going forward, that everything is remaining in Slovenia, including the development, all the programs, the brand, and everything. You know, I left Pipistrel 1 year and something ago with 220 people. Today, Pipistrel is more than 400 people company. So the investments which are needed in an industry like Pipistrel are huge. And with a partner like we have now, and it's not a fund, with all respect, sorry, it's a strategic partner who know what aviation is the best choice on the market. There are 90 years in aviation on the market. They own brands like Cessna, Bell Helicopter, everything. So being, let's say, married with such a partner means that you can, let's say, with big pride come every day again in the company, seeing what happened yesterday. And as you have as you probably read, 2 weeks ago, we flew with German partners in Maribor with first ever liquid hydrogen-powered aircraft, which will change the world of aviation. It will be a real passenger emission-free aircraft for long distances, etc., etc. But you know, when I knew that I will get, like most of Slovenians understand, a big wealth, but it's not wealth. It's, you know, if you are working all your life hard, then you don't understand what wealth is, but you understand what are the assets, what are the properties. You are thinking how to continue this and what to do with this. And I established a family office. My nephew is director there. My daughter and I am also, we are heavily included. We are running 17 companies now, and I'm quite sure you will understand that, let's say, making business is possible also to other segments, not only in the aviation.
But still, you came today and you met and you said, hello, boss, because we have the new president of Pipistrel here with us. How is this that you're still a president emeritus, and I see that you still collaborate, but how it is for you as a visionary, as a really living legend, to have a boss?
Well, yes, last 15 April, what a coincidence, this was my birthday. When I sold the company, I got also new boss, Gabriel, hi. And yes, a lot of things has to be changed after 33 years of being boss to become an employee. I'm still employee of Pipistrel, just to be sure that you understand correctly. I have a lot of freedom. But yes, you know, it's a nice experience, and I believe every businessman or every entrepreneur should once in a life have this experience, because it's different. You understand that the world is not turning around, but you are part of the world. So yes, it's a nice experience. But what I'm even more happy is that I made my team so strong and so, let's say, well organized, and the company well organized, that after 1 year, Gabriel is almost the only American in our company, and all, let's say, the people keep their position, and they're running the company, and he's, let's say, organizing everything. But yes, the top management structure has not been changed, and this is for me a big, let's say, confirmation that what I have done in the past was correct.
Was good. Nusha, you as now really a president of the board and your family business, you had a boss, but it's not the same, because your boss was also your father. So how does this play when you first time need to decide on something that maybe is not according to what your father and family thought? Was there a moment that you need to say, sorry, now it's my responsibility, or you have a family constitution? How do you run it?
Yes, we have a family constitution. We did it many years ago with EY. But after we graduated with my brother, we were also the most clever people on the world. And our parents realized this, and we established 2 startups. I was responsible for building distribution network of our products, for globalization of our sales, and my brother, he was responsible for R&D of new products, new technologies, and later we joined to the group. Then we did many acquisitions of competitors. Also, we went to another industry, in tourism and so on. Parents are still involved. My father was, in the meantime, also a little bit in politics. So we had free hands. And with family business constitution, it was really important to make it transparent, to make consensus that everybody's happy with it. And we were not just building this constitution for these generations, because we already had kids, and we said, okay, let's imagine what will happen in 2050, how Roto is going to look like, and I think it was a very important step.
So we'll come back to that, what will happen where your kids will be at the age when they will become the smartest persons. But Jure, your father really took you early to the meetings, but there is another really important figure in your family, and that is your mother, who is really strong. And how does this work? Mother, father, son, and then your wife also joined. How do you manage all these things?
I believe that each company has its own history, its own motivators, its own, let's say, legacy, and how it came to that. So we cannot say generally it's like something in all the companies the same. And in our case, it was like my father started business, my mother joined very quickly, and he also went to politics when I was only 12, 13 years old. My mom had to took the company over for the daily business, and she had no clue about techniques. She was only in financing and, let's say, bookkeeping and so on. And I was very eager to do business, because it was, when I was 2 years old, I said, I will have a company who makes toys for the kids and so. So I was always entrepreneur and always in these developments. And therefore, I always went with my family or with my father to the business meetings. And I had lots of knowledge of our technology. So when I was 12, I was already programming machines in our company, and so I was really, really engaged. And therefore, I had also lots of experience, even though I was very small. But my mother always asked me, Jure, what shall we do? Because my father was not there for 4 years when he was in politics. And that's why also in our case, they had lots of, let's say, lots of trust in me when I was very young age, and therefore there was no problem to let me run the business, because I was so young and they saw that I did the right things.
But how did, let's say, your partners were looking at you being so young, because trust is something that we heard today. How did they react to see a really young boy being there and deciding almost on things?
It's dependent whether you are looking outwards or inwards in the company, or outwards, right? Outwards, it was very funny, because they saw me when I was 10 working in company, and they were laughing, the business partners, what he's doing there, right? But they saw, because we have, if we do business, we do on long term. So they saw me when I was young, and it was no problem also if I was 16, 17, 20, to do business and negotiate projects. It was something normal in this case. But internally, I had lots of respect because of that, because I did everything in company, from cleaning the company to working on the dirtiest jobs, and then also making the innovations there. I also studied machine engineering and mechatronics, and only because of that I had this, let's say, trust, and also that they saw me as a leader in the company. Because otherwise, I see a lot of companies when second or third generations is coming, and they were not by doing, let's say, and creating the business. They only stepped in when they were older, and they don't have this trust, because everybody thinks they don't know anything, they're from the family, they will be the owners, and we know much more than they do. But in our case, it was the opposite side, because of this history that it was like it was.
Great. Clemen, the question for you, you said you and your brother persuaded your father you don't want to sell, you want to grow the company. And then again, this is the question, when the sons come, how do professionals who are there react? How did you kept the talents and still be the sons who are running it?
I'll tell you, and this is true. This was...
Don't lie to me.
No. This was 2 months after we came to Iskra. There was a problem with the engineers, with the R&D staff, and 3 guys were sitting there, and Peter, our still member of the board for system integration, you know, he went out of the office and he said, Clement, you deal with these guys. And I sit down, and I was talking, we'll do this and that, and a lot of changes and all of this. And these guys look at me and they say, how old are you? And I say, 40-something. And then they say, look, we've been in this company for 40 years. And do you really think that you will make a change? And I said, yes, of course we'll do it. And we did it.
But did you in the process had like, whoa, do I know how to do it? What was it? Because, you know, sometimes there is a big question about entrepreneurs and what Mr. Buscarol said, that at one point you need to think that the world is turning around you. Yeah. And then there is a moment that you need to know, no, it's not. I'm part of the world. So how important it was, your self-esteem, your ego, if you want, and then how to make it realize, okay, maybe I'm not the smartest, maybe I'm not the sun, maybe I'm just on the earth.
Well, you know, I think we don't have this father-son issue, because everybody that really knows me, they know both Mattia and myself, we work hard. So we are not there because of our father. In some way, yes, but in mostly that's not the reason. I think we are intelligent enough to handle all of this, and basically I'm asking this question to myself every day. You know, is this what I do? Is this okay? Should I do it differently? Should I talk to somebody else? Should I bring somebody else on board? Actually now I'm within Iskra totally involved, a lot of micromanaging for 8 years. And now I came to a point where I said to myself, okay, we made it to this threshold. Now I would want to exclude myself from daily operations. I think we grew up to a point where the fact that family runs a business is no longer the best possible option.
And what is the best possible? Is it selling the company, bringing new experts? Maybe there are many investors here, so maybe you don't want to just disclose.
No, look. For sure, if you ask me today, we are not selling. You know, and you know, if I would sell, what would I have? I would have many millions. We have Mr. Buscarol here, and he has millions of problems. So basically, the challenges. Challenges, whatever you call it. But you know, then what would I start to do? To buy land, to buy properties, stuff like this? Would I invest into another company? Look, Iskra is not yet there where Iskra is supposed to be. Iskra was back in Yugoslavia, the biggest company in the territory. I don't know whether this will happen, but we are going this direction. We are trying to do acquisitions. We are trying on organic growth. Basically, and like I said, I'm right now feeling I'm in the mood that we need to make these changes. So I'll do a little bit of a PR. So if any of you would be interested,
if you have millions,
yeah, no, not millions,
no.
not millions, but
to run the company. I hear
yes,
you.
yes, the ones contact me on LinkedIn. I'm
090, and you're there.
Right now, this is what
Super,
me
Clement.
personally I'm aiming for.
Thank you so much. Jure, we were discussing the ego and how brave we need to be, and there are always fine lines, thinking being the smartest, but then having the courage to show that you are smart. How do you manage with yourself? Because we were talking about managing the company and the family relations, but then managing yourself.
I do lots of sports. That's definitely very important to have I say always, a valve that opens when it has to open. Unfortunately, I love adrenaline sports, so my wife doesn't like it. I do it. But no, generally, this innovation and courage and so on, I think because it's panel for family business, and so I had always a problem that I was thinking always new things, new topics, new businesses, and firstly, I wanted to do this everything in family business. I started that. We went, just like Ivo said, first who went into the electric aircraft, we went into electric boating, in electric driving, in other topics, so to say, and so. And I saw then that it's not so easy if there is a whole family included. And it's family business, and it's totally new topics, and so on. So we changed a bit direction. So we said, let's keep the focus of the main company that is family owned, so to say. And other topics we are doing in the way of separate businesses, so to say. And this is also important for me because it's always this, as you said, father, son, mother, son, or something like that. I was always the one who tries to do new things, tries to innovate, and so I'm also engineer, and I like that, right? And therefore, I think it's also important to have a clear, let's say, a clear path how to do the business that is family-owned, and then this legacy, and then this politics of family, and so. But a part of that, you can do businesses also that are partly connected, but although giving you the freedom to do something separately and with other wings and with other options, so to say. It's also connected with ownership, for example, right? Yeah. If you do totally new thing and you know, just like in aviatics, you need lots of investments. You cannot do easily in family business. There are family members. You cannot easily decide and say, oh, we'll sell it, we'll gain new investors inside because we will do this and this project. There are so many meanings and so many thoughts in the family that we decided, it's our story, as I said, that family business is family owned. It has more traditional way of functioning. And the other things are other companies.
Thank you so much. Yeah, sure.
But how do you handle this? You know, because
you don't need me anymore here, or?
No, we need you. We need you. We need you. But actually, you know, you come to a question: if you have other businesses, and how the other family members react to this.
Our first colleague said when the first son came. Stipe, sorry. When Stipe said when the first son came and he said he's the cleverest one and Stipe went away for 1 year, so to say, I think this is correlated. I was also very young, as I said, and I grew business in Germany. It was a bigger company than in Slovenia. I created it, so to say, and then these topics came, right? What to do? I was only 29. I already did big projects. We were doing firstly 10 million turnover, then we were doing 60 million turnover. I did the projects on my own. And then it was the question what to do, because I have to live my family. I don't know what will happen. I'm also the one who's very organized. And when I started these communications in our family, it took 2 years. It's not easy, because I understand that parents are understanding it differently as the young generation, and it was not easy also to communicate this kind of topic and to organize a family. Let's say we don't have so detailed contract as you have, as far as I know, but we have simple, let's say, family constitution, very simple one, but we organize it in the way that we are free, also if it's connected to the main company, that we do our own companies, and it has to support the main company, and it doesn't. It should not be the
competitor.
The competitor.
Yeah.
So if this is the case, then we can do it, and no other are involved, so to say.
Stipe, how it is to publicly list your company, because then you don't have a marriage, but you have many marriages, or whatever we can call it, many lovers. Why was this your decision, and then it really changes a lot, and of course the governance changes. So it's not only the family constitution, but is binding by law how it is run. Why did you decide it like that?
First, I am married to Slovenian lady.
So no lovers whatsoever.
That's where it starts, and I'm actually the only member of the family that is not Slovenian citizen. I am complete minority in the family. Maybe I will qualify one day. When we talk about this issue of family business, I think like in many other things, except for what haven't happened ever, already happened. The problem in this region is that we are missing the history. The family businesses, I was looking into Slovenian statistics, and then listening to the ministry, I was thinking what I would do if I would be a minister. No, thank you. But only 2% of family-owned companies in Slovenia are owned and managed by the third generation. And what is the moment is the third generation, not the second. That's when the things get long living or dying. And that's the moment that will come. So that's because of history in Slovenia and elsewhere. So that's that's why you think what will be the next. It's always the question, what's the next? So I, by chance, also know personally some of these big global families, I would say even historic, and what happened to them. And I was studying, you know, because it's better to study than to experience. So what is important is the third generation. The second most important thing is education. The only well-educated global players survived if they educate their kids to be capable to manage the challenges.
So these big families usually have foundations, and they are not in executive roles, they're in the foundation. Is this something that you were ever thinking of?
We already did it, but basically my philosophy is sharing. So you start with your wife and you establish partnership. My wife and I, we are sharing 50%, whatever, except that I always think she has something more. Because she would get it anyway, so let's do it. Then it's a family, you know, you build the circles. But family is not enough. That's why you need partners. And getting a partners, it was to go public. And then other investors. And we have more than 50 other partners as a majority shareholders in the other companies. And so that's the way how you build your community. And through building community and going global, it's not you. It's all these people if they feel good in this partnership. And I think that's the formula to succeed.
Nusha, when we talk about third generation, you said your kids are there, and then 2050, it's the moment. How do you raise your kids that they might or not, probably it will be their decision, one day took over?
Yes, because there are many ladies here with us today, I would like also to talk about ladies in family business. Actually, our Oma, so my grandmother, she was also very involved in the business. She was 50% shareholder, but she had more, so she was always decision maker.
Let's not pretend.
Let's put it like it is, right?
Also, my mom, she was 50% shareholder at that time, and now with my brother, we are also 50-50. Yes, the fourth generation, there are 3 kids, and we will see who is going to be involved in the business. All are candidates, but all of them are so different. So I'm very looking forward that the company is going to grow in different ways. We have so many opportunities, and they are already changing us, and very involved also in the business. Yes, values are the same, like I said when my Oma raised me, the loyalty to the company, to the customers, to the suppliers. Also in these 74 years, we had so many ups and downs, which we survived. And all the story that I remember from my Oma and my grandpa, my parents, we are now talking to our kids. And also my parents are helping us to raise them because value have to stay the
Nusha,
same.
did you at any point felt like, oh, I'm destined to do that, or it was really from the start I want to do it?
I think it was from the start.
Mm-hmm. Clement, you have 3 kids as well, so Jure, you have 2 for now, so you need another one to be in the same league. But Clement, raising kids and having this aspiration, how does this go?
Well, I have 3 teenagers. It doesn't go well.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but it seems to me like I'm doing everything wrong. But you know, on a serious side, basically I can do maybe 1 hour of parenting per day. Through the weekend, a little bit more. Although they don't want to be with my wife and myself through weekend anymore. And on the other side, there is social media, TikTok, and all of this bullshit. And basically, this is how they are raised, and this is where they get their values. So, and if I look at them, you know, I don't know what will happen. I'm really happy for Nusha because you're 3rd generation, right? If you make it to 3rd generation, then you're a dynasty. Yeah. We are not there yet, and if I take a look at the youngsters now, I'm really not sure what to do. A lot of
I think we need another panel for this discussion.
Yes, yes, you know, and I don't know what would happen, but a smart person said to me, "Look, wait until they reach when they go beyond these teenage years, they might get serious, you know." So. This is what I hope for.
If I make comment
Super, yes.
Here, Mark Twain once said, when I was young, my father was so stupid, incredible guy. And then when I grew up to become 28 old, he became kind of normal. So, yeah. So I think we don't educate kids directly. From the certain point on, they only look what we do. And that's how they make decisions and values. If we are selling them the things we want, they always look what we don't want to sell. And that's how they become adult, mature people with the values.
Do we sometimes forget, Stipe, that walk the talk, which we all know and talk a lot in the companies, should be also done in the families?
I think it should be done everywhere. You know, the problem of this civilization is exactly that. Everyone is capable of selling themselves in a way that is a wishful thinking. And now we even forgot in this big story that the truth, the reality is stronger than hype. And I think it's chasing us as a civilization. So, I mean, simply talk to yourself and be true.
Yeah. Look at the mirror from time to time, right? We have another family business representative, and thank you, Jure, also for being partner of today's breakfast. I'll invite you up the stage, and now the hard questions will start. This was really nice, you know, but... So, Jure, also you and your brother, Philip, is also somewhere here. There. Are running the family business. Unfortunately, your father passed away and that was probably a really important moment to decide that you want to continue. How this works then? Because you are put into the position, hey, there is no choice. How did you decide?
There's always a choice, that's firstly. There was always a choice for us to decide if we want to be involved in the company or if we want to pursue some other interest that we had. But the thing was that our values were such that in the time of the need, we sort of have to stand together and continue the story that was started by our parents. So for me, there was a no-brainer. So just jump and go.
And knowing you and Philip, your characters are completely different. Philip is a serious guy and you are not, or maybe vice versa. So there is an interesting story. All of us today will get a nice book, Together is Better, that is given by you, and Simon Sinek is the writer. But not in the beginning you thought that this kind of way is also good for your company to address values.
Yeah, for me, as you said, we are a little bit different. I think all the families have these complementary kids or members, and for us it was the same. And so one day Philip came to me and said, Jure, I have a perfect project. I think Slovenia needs to know a little bit more about Simon Sinek. He has written such a good book. It's called Start With Why. And I said, okay, but we are not in a book translating business, publishing business. Why do we want to do that? Yeah, but it's such a good idea. We have to do that because we have to show Slovenia what Simon Sinek is saying, what he's doing, because I think that it would be beneficial to our country. And I said, but okay, Philip, we don't have it budgeted. It's not something that is going to gain us any value, especially in the near future. And I said, I would suggest not to go in that way. And just because he's my family member, so he's my brother, I had the trust and I believed in the idea he was presenting, even though the numbers or my rationale was saying something different. And I'm very happy that he persuaded me because, in my opinion, this is one of very nice cases how family business can introduce certain knowledge, know-how, values to a broader community. And this is something that we also want to share with you. That's why we believe that the book we chose to give you as a gift for this conference is a book called Together is Better, as we believe that we have to join our forces to be better, either in family or in communities or with strategic partners.
Thank you so much, Jure. Thank you for this and being partner. Thank you. So, talking about values, not only intrinsic values and family values, but what you give to the society is something that family businesses really think a lot about. Clement, you mentioned ESG is something that you really live, not only talk about. Can you please tell us a case where you really give back, and it's not only a giving back, it's really something that you as a community, having so many employees and all that, but then having an impact?
I think we do a lot, but you know, we are not doing photos with the checks and all of this, because I think this is bad. I know that our family is the biggest donator for the kids in Slovenia, and we never publish this. And if we go and publish, then this is PR marketing. Makes no sense. But we as families, we have to give back. Although by only living in this beautiful country, we are giving back a lot every day in taxes, in social security contributions, and all of this. Basically, difficult to say more.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Clement. Philanthropy is something that, you know, I also, to be honest, had this in mind that no, you cannot publish. But then I realized it's important maybe that also others are inspired, and definitely Mr. Buscarolio inspired many when you donated really a substantial sum to your community, and you're continuing doing it, working with firefighters, working with your inner community. And some were even angry with you, like now everybody will have to do it. Why did you decide to really give so much money to Nova Gorica, and then of course also to all of the others?
Well, you know, in the actual world we are living, nothing can be done, especially not big stories, without the help of the workers, without the contribution of the municipality, without the contribution of all the country. I'm very happy and thankful that in the last 30 years, Pipistrel received almost 6 million of grants, which helped me to boost the company, to be able to employ a lot of people, to make a success. And when the time is correct, and when you can give back to all these entities I mentioned, it's a duty to do it. Because if you are a part of community, then you cannot forget what you received in the past, and you must contribute to a better social status of all of us. In my case, was different than previous speaker, because with 25 million, the biggest donation in the history of Slovenia, I collapsed the municipality budget. So it had to be redone for next years, and of course this would not be possible to do it without making known this. But yes, I'm strictly convinced that business is made in both sides, with all the involved parties, especially with the workers, with the team, and also with the community. If we are happy in our environment, in our business, in our country, then we can be successful and not frustrated, as at the moment we are. I believe a lot of my colleagues are. And maybe I can take the opportunity to comment about our history. It's not true that we don't have a history. We are not proud in Slovenia about our history. We have our history, but it's maybe a little bit specific. You know, my mother was living in the same house all her life, but she changed 5 countries. You know, that's a speciality of our history. You know, and because we are changing countries, we are changing cultures, we are also able to communicate with different cultures, but of course it's maybe hard to be proud of what we are doing. And maybe also because of this, some of my colleagues don't pick me up anymore the telephone after my donation, because they said that I did something wrong, that I let's say, threw the money to the community and will be lost. But I'm quite sure it will not be lost. I'm not making single donations, but mostly on the, let's say, larger communities, social, let's say, institutions, medical, let's say, projects. And all this help to all of us that tomorrow we will be maybe more proud about our country and about what we are doing. You know, I will never forget when we, in 2011, when we won the NASA challenge, the biggest reward in the aviation history, 1.2 million. It was more than Nobel Prize, and it's still the highest. In Slovenia, the information was published, yes, but between the lines. But the biggest French magazine, aviation magazine, published on the first page, Europeans won against the Americans. This is the difference, you know, what we understand our history and the others.
Thank you so much. And all the time, I really, this is something what AmCham is many times about connecting, but also promoting that Slovenia is something special because we truly believe into it. Stipe, your ESG is not charity, of course, also, but you decided that you want to do a world-class school here at Bled. You invested a lot of energy into it. There is a vision what EDC will be about. Is this the way how you give back? Is this the way where you want to leave your impact?
Yeah, but of course I have to answer. You know,
I didn't have a doubt about that.
Telling someone that does not have a history is something what clearly has a parallel in the history. When I am in Ljubljana, I'm living in here nearby, and I go through Reformation Park. So I was this morning watching this small table in the grass, writing. We are thankful to all Protestant writers that help us develop our books and our languages. And then I went to read about Protestantism in Slovenia. That was what I was doing this morning. I was speaking about history of business. This is example how communication is difficult. Because if we talk about history of business, it's clear. You couldn't have business history in the terms of capitalism and market beyond 1990. That was the history I was talking about. So you can't have third or fourth generation, or you have only 2%. Okay, share.
They will do some good business for the history.
Yeah. By the way, when we talk about Protestantism and transformation, it's a good example how we forget and even deny the contribution of big people in the history and then go under reformism. And then I understand Slovenia as a mostly Catholic country with Protestant culture, what makes you good ground for entrepreneurship. But enough about history.
Let's talk about the future.
Yeah, let's talk about the future and how you give. I think it's always first important internally what kind of company you are and how you function in reality. The first thing, what you said, Oma, I think it's impossible to be normal without normal role of the women. You are even not possibly successful without gender equality. If you are greedy, go for that because it will bring you profit. If you are normal, you will feel better, go for it. So that's the first thing. We issued the first ESG bond. And then our objective is to have 51% of women at the leadership positions. We are already at 43, so not happy yet. And that's how you, I think, build internally based on values that are normal. I don't think there is a normal society where women don't have equal position. So then about giving, you know, I think everything what you do should be checked by scientific facts. Whatever we do, even how we hold our hands, there is something science can say about that. And so about giving and altruism, there is a concept and philosophy of effective altruism developed at Oxford by Will MacAskill, one young philosopher. So even giving needs knowledge. And there are a lot of donations in the world that are creating disaster. and supporting criminals around the world. So we need to know also how to give. One of the principles I follow following McCaskill is it's always easier to give to the first person nearby you. The longer the distance and more impersonal people are, it's harder to give. So when we donate in our company, we don't make difference between giving to our employees, if we are giving, or people in, for example, Turkey that suffered from earthquake this year.
Yeah.
So we have 7,000 employees in Turkey. We were among first to give millions there and doing also very concrete actions to help them. Because I think it's a humanity. It's not family, it's not nation, it's people. Now, the last thing is about bled. I think Slovenia is positioned in a unique way to contribute globally. Let me not argue, we don't have time. And the bled school is one of the jewels of Slovenian history, something that was grown on the greenfield and on the original concept. And so Klemen is also a shareholder, partner, and board member there. And we are discussing how to make transition in the family. So the school would be equally important in the next 30 years as it was previously, and I think we will be successful in doing so.
Super.
Yeah.
Because we all know the case of Stanford, who really changed the Silicon Valley, and then you need a good intellectual property in one place, a great entrepreneurs, which Slovenia definitely has, and a lot of courage that we see today. That's why I would like, for the really last thing, to ask you, I know people want to have many of your advices, but what's the best advice you were given and you gave so far? I know there will be many more, but let's start with you, Clemens. So the best advice you were given and that you think you gave.
You remember I went to school in Yugoslavia, and you know this Pričevalo, what's the...
it's like, I don't know what's the translation, honestly, sorry.
Well, everybody knows Pričevalo. And you remember,
not everybody, but okay. The card where you have your grades.
Yes. And you remember what was written on the first page?
No.
Učite se, učite se, učite se.
Learn.
Learn. Because only by learning you will be able to contribute to your country. And then, you know, who said it? Marshal Tito. And I fully agree with this.
Jesus, Clement, Tito gave you the best advice. Okay. What was the best advice you gave?
Well, you know, every day I'm talking to my oldest son. And I tell him, look, Giga, please, look what Mama and Papa do, look, and do the same, look, do the same, please do the same.
Go back to Tito. Okay, you're still trying to give the best advice. Jure.
I think everything goes back to values. When you have children, you have to start when they are very young, I believe.
But the best advice you were given and the best advice you gave. He wanted to go through like that.
Yeah. Best advice, enjoy what you do and innovate, because this will be the best for the world. And I try to teach people, my kids also in this way, to be open-eyed, to have open eyes and just go with it, because innovations and all this brings then the prosperity, I believe so.
Super, thank you.
The best advice for me, I don't know. I really don't know.
Nusha.
Okay, last question was about social responsibility. Roto is market leader in products for water management, and we really invest a lot into the knowledge about drinking water, how to recycle water, and also donate many wastewater treatment plants and other products to schools, to other institutions, not only here in Europe, but also in 12 African countries. And I believe that if you are a socially responsible company And if your mission is to also create general values like save the environment, save the water, which is really essential source for our future, then you can also be sustainable and you can also make long-term vision for your kids, which are going to continue your family business.
Thank you so much. Mr. Pascarol?
Well, I'm very happy that I had very nice parents. And they always said, whatever you will do in your life, do it with passion. Do it based on traditional values and do it on a long-term basis. Being successful over the night is very easy, but being successful not, let's say, damaging the relations, not damaging the environment, not damaging everything what the traditional values are talking about. It's not so easy, but prove it that it's possible. And I did it, and I'm very happy that I can also be a case to a lot of my colleagues that doing long-term business is possible. What advice to do, especially to young people, is not easy because nowadays they are learning in the school 70% of things they will never need because the world is changing so fast, and they will be forced to learn and get more knowledge all their life. Maybe sometimes I say to younger generation when I'm invited like a speaker, I always say, ask your parents for a single way, one-way ticket and go into the world. Be there with open eyes and ears. See what they are doing, and with this knowledge, I'm quite sure it will be also a Slovene company paying the return ticket because you will be a good worker.
Great, thank you. And Stipe?
Okay, let me answer as a scientist. Probably some of you or many know about so-called Dunning-Kruger effect. So, less you know, more you are convinced that you know everything. So basically, and this is especially among scientists and professors. If you ask them who is the most clever person in the world, it's I. So I think about advice is I never give advice. Maybe only if someone comes to really ask passionately, and then you can talk and communicate, because it's not responsible to offer too much advices, and especially, you know, if you are not certain about what you can say only from your personal experience. And then when there is someone who really wants to get it, because too many advisors
are out there. For our foreign friends in the room, we Slovenes are always super proud on our sports people. They're amazing. We have like the best, whatever you name, we are almost the best. But you know what? I am today super amazingly proud on entrepreneurs we had the privilege to listen to, and this is the future of Slovenia. Thank you so much.